Good morning, class. I can see that you all are 60-year-olds who can't even stand and wish your teachers. Anyway, each one of you is going to use recess to go to the staff room and wish each and every single teacher there. Alright, moving on. The next person on the list for the extempore is... Haha, look at that. Haha, haha. Hey, it's called genius, okay? Shut up. Hey, you got chopped, yeah, what are you talking? Miss, it's Sukhmani. Nani? It's Sukhmani. Okay. Are you ready with your speech? Well, the topic, as I had mentioned yesterday, is the internet. Boon or bane? Good morning, respected teacher and all my dear friends. My name is Sukhmani and today I am going to talk about the internet. Boon or bane? In my knowledge, the internet is great. But the internet can have a lot of side effects also. Addiction, time waste. And it can lead to a lot of things like laziness, not completing all your work on time. Thank you. Oh, hello there. Welcome to another episode of I Had to Talk to Somebody, so I decided to talk to the world instead. Do you want some chai, coffee, water? No? Well, have a seat. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to have a conversation about social media and all the things I keep learning away from it. Being confident in everything you do, self-esteem, and yeah, just getting work done in general. You can skip through to the different parts of the video from the description because I don't have the chapters feature yet. Now, 2 days ago, I did try filming this in the hot sun, but I almost got a stroke. So I don't know if all this effort warrants a subscribe, but that would sure be great. Now let's start with a little activity. Ask yourself, what have you done in the last few months, when in the time that the world came to a standstill due to a pandemic? And I wouldn't be surprised if this was, soon a college essay question, an interview question, because it's enough that you were sitting at home and just trying to be within yourself and connecting with yourself and the family around you. But it's just straight tea, The competition is crazy. They might even ask you this question. Now think about that and try to answer that question with a little bit of pizzazz. Now I did say we're here to grow up. So we're here elevating ourselves. For a little bit of context, I have been reducing my phone usage quite a bit recently, and I'm still working on it because I was starting to get very annoyed and stressed at myself because the habit, being aware of your habit of constantly scrolling through social media or news, or even just looking for like job opportunities that just very serial scrolling, it's not a very fun sight. And I tried a little digital detox about a month ago when I didn't have online classes. So I put all of my electronic devices in a suitcase and threw it away for a while, and it was amazing. So I'm really out here urging everyone to challenge yourselves to do that. Just put everything aside and look inward. So let's face it, the socials are a very scary leech of our time. So many of the things that are put out are just so disturbing and off-putting on a level that we don't even notice. Every day, so much news out there and information out there is put out with the sole purpose of propagating negativity and hate, and if not even just self-doubt. And God knows how much of our self-esteem has been marred by consuming things that weren't exactly nourishing us in our development. And I'm 20, and I think we were the last generation that had a childhood that was devoid of the choking grasp of social media and bullshit news from biased sources that lacked credibility. Well, I mean, not to tank into complete and absolute darkness. I mean, sure, things are looking up now, and social media and web filtering has become a lot better now, because at the time all of this was very new, so no one was woke enough to raise any flags or questions against the credibility of a post, the audience of a post, protecting children, and how appropriate it was, discrimination and representation. It's still not at a pinnacle. So, and it's good that there's a lot of initiatives now by influencers and companies to be more honest about their products and what they're trying to sell online, because you have to remember that people always highlight the best versions of themselves on social media, and this can very, very easily leave the impression that, hey, their lives are perfect, that is amazing, and we're just stuck in this dark place, which is why I feel like it is collectively our duty to talk about all these things honestly and without filters. And no, I'm not going to sit here and blame you for being addicted to social media and all of that and the internet, because there's no need to feel bad. There are tons of psychologists with degrees working with people in the market to create the notion that one can't live without social media, and they coin terms like the fear of missing out just to drill the idea into your mind that, hey, I actually can't live without this shit. So yeah. Besides, I think actively revamping your feeds and switching out to things that are informative and are like actual art, there's so much that would rather be seen. And I know that the first few days of keeping all your socials aside and just getting rid of all of that stuff can be very hard, especially in my situation. I was stranded, I'm still stranded and away from my family, so I left a little window for myself where I could just talk to them. And I want to believe that I was born with the ability to exercise self-control, but life is a journey of getting there, and it's not about being born as is. So I have to force myself. It is hard.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Let's look at the great things you could do with technology. You want to look at the serious issues too? Let's give farmers in this country a reason to live. Digitize their world, give them geospatial data and laser-driven equipment. And I know there's a lot of research going on in this, but if more people, more engineers gave a shit about this, the process would speed up. I feel comparison and self-deprecation is now like this, almost like our second nature. This is the most toxic trait. We compete about whose situation is worse, and it doesn't even take anything. For example, the other day, and I didn't mean for it to be an experiment, it's just that I drew inference from it. I sent a picture of myself to a couple of friends, and the only common response that I got for this was another picture reply where they're pointing out their non-flaws and whatnot. Girls and boys, we are supposed to love the molds that we were built into. And before you go off at me, I'm fully aware that I do this too. And it's sad. But I'm sorry that there are these old standards in our country that even our parents couldn't escape. But it is precisely our job to question these long-standing non-standards that don't really make sense and were just tropes to make other people feel bad about themselves and feel lonely. I mean, in general, we should be trying to reform things that have been defaults before we were even born. Alright, now that I have advocated so much against social media, among other things, let's talk about what we can do now. So I identified the places where I previously subconsciously erred. Number one, using the phone first thing in the morning. I cannot say this enough, but this is the worst habit. Contrary to popular belief, the world can actually wait for a good hour after you're up. But what you don't think about is the effect that it has on your brain and your overall mood and productivity and energy in a day. So basically, when right after bed, when you first get up, your brain takes some time to still adjust its waves to tune you into a day of productivity and work, the blue light from your screen will immediately alert your body and kick you into sort of stress mode and kick you into alertness, and this would set you up for a day filled with stress. So you'll obviously feel behind in your day and you'll be working with round the clock fatigue. And so try to actively change your morning rituals. Wake up first thing, force yourself out of bed immediately, take a shower, meditate, remain mindful, drink a liter of water, do some light stretching to get the blood flowing, get a good breakfast, and then plan your day and the things you want to accomplish in a day, and then perhaps get to using your devices. And there's multiple ways to get organized. Even coming from someone who has very haphazard techniques of doing it, I use multiple different platforms to do it. So, you could use Notion, you could have a bullet journal, you Google Calendar. And now I would be the last person who likes routines and monotonous days, but there is a very fine difference between discipline and a routine. So figure out what's right for you and get to it, alright? So for example, working out is important for your energy levels every day and for your daily appointment with serotonin. So it's not for having a shredded body, but more about feeling good about the body that you were built in and feeling good about yourself. Another great thing to look into is minimalism in all aspects of your life, starting of course with your phone and your devices. By deleting most apps that you don't need, you're actually getting rid of a lot of the junk that you see, because we are very visual creatures, humans. And go and clean out your wardrobe, educate yourself on the carbon footprint of fast fashion, and start spending your money wisely on the things that you need. I have been trying to adopt this in my life because it is actually very liberating and it gives you the opportunity to also declutter your mind. Number 2, using the phone just before bed. Did you know that all this blue light from your screen and all this exposure can actually suppress the melatonin as well? And you complain about insomnia? Avoid screens at least an hour before you hit the sack. Read an actual book instead, and take
we didn't see that coming. We didn't.
And take the time to actually sit and journal and reflect on your day and write it down, what you could accomplish and not. Obviously, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. This habit is actually very elevating, and I urge more people to get into it. Use that time to be mindful and introspect and look inward, because I don't understand why so many people refuse to do so. It's very important to know yourself, so it's a good time to remain mindful. And allow this digression, but how you refuse to really try something right off the bat. You think that, positive affirmations and the power of it, flash in the pan. Journaling doesn't help me with the whole compartmentalizing thing. Meditation doesn't work for me. I've tried everything. I'm just a very dark, affected person. Ma'am, what you don't realize is that you're making it difficult for yourself, because almost 80% of the time we try this whole positivity zen mojo only when we expect an outcome from the work that we're putting in, and we do it exclusively then, and then give up immediately when we fail after the first try. But like all things in life, we have to remain consistent in thought and action and keep at it. Now, I know how I keep saying that taking breaks is really important, but what I didn't think about is that after a long session of being productive, my direct default action was to grab my phone. So I tried to actively cut it out of these places. Instead, I stopped my work to get some fresh air, get a stretch in, because those flexors are going to stiffen from all the sitting we've been doing recently. Try and work on a piece of art, play an instrument, sing a song, make time for your hobbies, because a lot of teenagers now complain about not being all-rounders way too late in life, especially when applying to colleges or positions. You need to make time for yourself and your hobbies. You need to show your interest and then enroll yourself in activities that give you more holistic endeavors. I just feel as a youth of this generation, we have this constant need to keep feeling busy and telling ourselves and others we're busy. Like on Slow down. It's normal to think that Mishraji's daughter has 73 hours in a day, but stop. This could very well be your last day here. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is, I guess if you have a rough timetable in your head, you can get a lot done in 24 hours, and then there's always time for everything. It's just your bad planning that doesn't leave you any. So if you're trying to do this whole elevation thing, start off by switching off your notifications first, completely. I'm looking at you little love bugs out there. You can sustain just fine without your lovebirds for a month or two, because I want you to first understand that you need to love yourself. I know a lot of people who think that self-care and self-love is just the garb under which products are sold or influencers flaunt their expenditure, but no, I'm talking from a place of science and teleology, because the mind really is the most powerful thing. You just have to tap into it and tune yourself to catch those success rays, baby. And it's not as easy as just thinking that yes, today I'm going to be positive, today I'm going to achieve this, today I'm going to do this. No, that's patchwork. You'll run out of it. It's about consistency in thought every day. Also, on the topic of self-confidence, we are trying to grow up here, and one very real way of doing so is to create a stream of income. Now that everything's online, anything is possible. You know, sell your art, be a blogger, create a course online, do anything. And if you think your parents treat you like a child, try to pull your weight around the house, you know, help with the chores, do your own thing. Show them that you have the drive to be independent. Even just earning a little bit can make you feel a lot more confident in your abilities, and it will groom you to being more conscious about how you spend your money and what you invest on. Because unfortunately, our education system has no space and time to teach us all of this about money. I mean, how would everyone just know what smart investments are? I mean, not everyone's following Jay-Z. Now, we have talked about self-confidence, self-care, self-love, but let's talk about something that surprisingly takes a backseat. Self-respect. And you. Oh, you know I'm talking to you. In fact, I'm talking to the 5th grade me as well. Stop giving your time and energy to people who do not deserve it at all. Listen to that again. I can't believe that there's people in their 20s who are stuck in icky situations with work and people, and they know these things make them uncomfortable, but they don't choose themselves in a breath. I want you to stop and think. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And what do you have to lose? And if you do, is it really worth it? Now, I'm really hoping that you all have that one person you can always talk to candidly, because venting does not make you weak, boo.
You good? No, you're not. You're not, baby, and it's okay. You're not good, and it's okay. You don't need to be good all the time. It's okay to not be good.
And you can always talk to your parents. You just have to keep trying to explain yourself, alright? Because we complain about them not understanding, but do you even see the gap between their times and yours? And never stop trying to get them to accept who you are, understand who you are, because at the end of the day, they are your family, and they're gonna be there for you for a long time. So, yeah. I guess it all just comes down to switching your mindset, your daily blueprint, and just trusting yourself and keeping at the grind, you know? So, yeah. Bye.